Hey friends, welcome back to Passports, Profits, and Pixie Dust. Lindsay Dollinger here, your favorite lead generation coach, women's business coach, women's retreat host, travel advisor, whatever hat I am to you, bestie, biz bestie, welcome to the show. So today, I know I've been saying this for, I don't know, like this entire year. I feel like my podcast episodes have continually gotten shorter throughout the year. This episode could be summed up in like a sentence. I won't lie. So it's going to be really short. However, if I just say it in a sentence, you're going to be like, Lindsay, that was really harsh or really abrupt. And I won't be able to explain myself fully. So I'm going to explain myself fully. Let's dive in. Where to even start? So today I don't have any notes because it's literally, I've just been kind of thinking about it the past day. Because yesterday I went to a training for travel advisors for my team. It is the first time I've gotten to do an in-person team event like this. I think since COVID. Like I did a lot of travel agent training before then. I've done a ton online. I guess I just went on a fam trip, which is a familiarization trip if you're not familiar with that word. And we had a couple seminars while we were there. It was a seminar on the river with AMA Waterways. This is the first time locally in person I've been able to attend one. And I met a new friend. She was sitting next to me at the table. We were chatting, about our businesses and marketing and things like that. And she asked me how I got clients. And it's such a simple question, but I feel like at this point in my business, like there's so many layers to it, like hence why I am a lead generation and marketing coach, right? Like this is what I do. This is my strategy. So I don't just have one way that I get clients. However, after I was, kind of word vomiting all the things, social media and emails and a lead magnet and, all the normal things that we talk about on this show, I paused for a second and I was like, actually, like I travel. I'm a travel agent who travels. And this is where I'm going with this. And even if you're not a travel agent or advisor, whatever you want to call yourself, even if your business isn't travel, hold tight to this episode because this is going to still pertain to you. And this opinion of mine might sound harsh, might make you like get pissed off at me. That's totally fine. But I believe if you are going to be a travel business owner, you have to travel. Like, I want to know that at all times you have some sort of trip booked for your own personal travel. And if you're not, I just want to ask you to check yourself, really and truly. And I mean that out of love, because unless you're just doing this as a hobby, but if you are doing this as a business, it's like I always learned in network marketing. This is a common thing that we say in network marketing: be a product of the product. So you're not going to be a health coach who doesn't work out. You're not going to be a health coach who doesn't eat healthy, 80% of the time. All about moderation, but you're going to talk about nutrition in some sort of way, right? You are not going to be a lawyer who never tries cases, like goes into, trials and has cases. You're not going to be a doctor who doesn't actually see patients, right? Like these are all of these like pieces of people's occupations. As a travel advisor, as a travel agent, your job is travel, is to plan freaking awesome trips. And how are you going to be able to plan freaking awesome trips if you're not going on trips? And especially if you are planning like international or cruising or something that you have never done before, I beg you, please go on those sorts of trips before you ever offer to plan one. Like if someone comes to you, and maybe if you've done all the training and you have a really good mentor who doesn't mind like filling in those spaces for you, but like especially like an international trip, and if you've never been on one, this is gonna, like I said, it's probably gonna ruffle some feathers, and that's okay. I don't think you should be planning international trips because there are so many pieces you are going to miss. And I've seen this firsthand. I actually saw it firsthand very largely because I was an ambassador for a while with the company that I took students abroad with. And we would train teachers to take their first trips abroad. Like once you got so many people signed up on your trip, you went on a training tour with us abroad. So I was leading one in Madrid over the holidays a couple years ago. And I'm sitting in this room and I was shocked. I was shook at the number of people who did not know that you needed a converter for electricity and an adapter, and that the plugs were different abroad. And I'm like, how are people leading trips abroad and they don't know that? And then it hit me, like one, that's the purpose of the tour, of the training tour, is that you get to experience that. But then I was thinking back, okay, like when did I learn that? And I'm like, oh, I probably learned it before my first trip or during my first trip, right? And there's so many pieces like this. Like I also just made a comment or a post, I guess, asking for recommendations for a hair straightener. And I said, I have one I really love that's European, but they don't have this brand in the United States. And someone commented on it, actually a family member, and she said, well, just use an adapter or use a converter. And I'm like, fun fact about these, and you would know this if you have ever tried these, friends. You cannot use hair product styling tools with a converter adapter. They will blow every time. Ask me how I know. I have many, many stories about how I know. I have tried multiple ways, and asked my dad how he knows because I told him that. And he brought his like red light massage gun on our Ama Waterways river cruise. And night one, he texted me upset because it blew up the second he plugged it in the wall. And I was like, well, Dad, that's why I told you not to bring it. And he's like, well, you didn't tell me. And I'm like, okay, fair. I didn't go all in, but I said, don't bring it. It won't work. Well, it won't work because it's going to blow up. So he was mad because it got ruined. All that to say, there are things that you are never going to be able to learn just through training that you will know when you experience it yourself. Did I book cruises before I had ever cruised on one? Yes. Did I feel comfortable doing that? No. I was looking up questions all over the place. People were asking me things. I had no idea what they even meant. Like, what do you mean there's different dining times? What's the difference between a veranda? Heck, I didn't even know what a veranda was. I didn't know veranda meant balcony room, right? Did I know that certain rooms like had a pull down bed from the ceiling that only holds 200 pounds? So I need to be asking my people, yes, you have 2 adults and 2 kids, but is one of those kids over 200 pounds? Because if so, this room's not going to be for you, right? So like there's all these things that I do not know and I would not know without having done it. Let's go back then. Full circle here. So if you're a travel agent, travel. Take the kind of trips too that you want to sell. I can't tell you how much more confident I am about booking Hawaii now that I have been. Did I book it before? Yeah, I did. Do I feel so much more confident now? And does it save me so much more time? And do I look like a freaking rock star genius when I'm talking to people about it because I have been? Yes. Same thing with cruising. Same thing with Disney. Disney's another one. I see people all the time trying to sell Disney or asking Disney questions, or clients who are upset because their travel agent didn't know certain things about Disney. It's because they either haven't been to Disney or they haven't been in 20 years. Disney changes year to year. Disney changes every month. Heck, so if you're not regularly going or you're not staying up on it, if you have been and like staying up on it and, reading the blogs and looking on Pinterest and you're on YouTube and all those things, listening to the podcasts, are you really going to be able to, one, serve clients the way you want, but two, attract the right clients to you? Like there is a certain, expertise that comes from experience. You don't have to be a quote unquote expert at all the things. Just by experiencing them, that is going to make you an expert. So if you're a travel advisor, I want you to have trips on your books. Like what's your next one you're looking forward to? Right? Oh, there's a fly. What's the next one you're looking forward to? Be sharing with your audience those things, because those trips then are going to not only unlock that confidence for you to be able to sell them, but you're going to be able to create marketing assets. You're going to be able to create the B-roll, the posts, the guides, even just better experiences in general for your clients. But you're going to be able to create all of that marketing around those things that you have experienced. Like I actually need to go back in the vault of pictures and experiences from, all the countries and things that I've been to, because I have not even scratched the surface of sharing those things that I'm an expert in. Maybe people who have been with me for, ever since Facebook was around or somewhere along and then know that and remember that. But I guarantee you right now, the majority of people on my timeline either do not know or have forgotten that I lived in Guatemala a summer. I lived in Spain for 2 summers. I lived in Peru a summer. I've been to Australia. I did an African safari. There are all these things that, I get to bring top of mind to people because they're experiences that I have had. Now, I hear you. And you're like, Lindsay, that costs money, or I don't have time off work, or whatever your excuse is, friend. I get it. Been there, done that. Trust me. I am a high school Spanish teacher by day. I'm not exactly raking in the dough from that occupation, right? So I get to be savvy and I get to be very intentional. One, about the time I have to off and what I do with it. And two, what trips I'm saying yes to and what I'm saying no to, and how I am strategically planning those out. So, like my family, for example, for spring break, I knew that I wanted to go on a Carnival cruise because I had sold them before. I have heard, honestly, like a lot of really crappy things in general about them. But then I have some friends who are like, swear by the Carnival cruises. So I'm like, okay, what? I need to form my own opinion about this, especially if I'm going to be able to sell them. Since I went on that Carnival cruise in March, which I loved, by the way, I was on the Carnival Horizon, and just like, talking about it on there, I think I have sold specifically two, three, four, five, six cabins maybe on a Carnival cruise. Might not sound like a lot, but it's a lot more than I did before I went on that trip. I'll tell you that because I feel more comfortable with it. I have talked about it more, and people now know me. I was like, okay, I think I remember she went on a Carnival cruise, right? So get known for these things based off you doing them. Some other examples, I'm in Ohio, and so I'm not sure where you're listening to this, but like, where could you go for a long weekend? Like Columbus Day or whatever they call it now, Indigenous Peoples Day, or Thanksgiving, Christmas, Martin Luther King. Like, think of like those 3-4 day weekends. Like, where can you back up some time maybe to go on a trip to, I don't know, Arizona, New York City, Orlando? What do you want to sell more of? Heck, there are even 3 and 4 night cruises. If you're listening to this and you've never been on a cruise, which was me, I did not go on my first cruise, like I said, until 2021. So no shade at all. Go on a short one. My first one was a 3 night one. And I got off and I was like, man, this is so depressing because I could have stayed on this boat for like another week. Go on a short one. Look at the deals that are available to us. Take advantage of those. Save your money. Maybe combine it with other things if you can. Some of the ways that I've gotten to travel to some really fun cities is I found a conference that was going on in them. So I like double dipped in it, right? Like I'm going for the conference and then I'm going in the evening to tour the Mardi Gras Museum in New Orleans or whatever it might be, because I actually did that. So like, let's get creative and savvy about it. But again, we're going back to that old network marketing saying you have to be a product of the product. If you want to sell travel, you have to travel. End of story, point and blank. So now if you're listening to this and you're like, hey, Lindsay, you told me that this was for me, even if I'm not a travel agent. Yes, I did. If you want to be a speaker, speak. Why are you not speaking? Get on a podcast. There's YouTube. It is free. Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives. They don't even have to be lives. You can upload the videos to them. You can make pins from them. You can host your own webinars. Speak. If you want to be a speaker, speak more. If you want to be a writer, write more. Whatever your craft is, wherever you want to be an expert, wherever you want to make more money, wherever you want to make more of an impact and a difference in the world, do that thing. We get to stop waiting for permission or the right time or the right amount of money or whatever it is to be able to do that thing that lights us up, do that thing that is going to move our business forward. And really, like I said, be that number one go-to person in your industry, in your business. Like when people think travel, when people think Disney, when people think lead generation, I want them to think of me. And I have succeeded with that with travel and the Disney. I'm still working on the lead gen, but there are some people, in some spheres that I am, who think of me as the women's business coach. And I'm like, chef's kiss for you. There are some people who still will always think of me as a Spanish teacher. That's fine too. But, what is the thing that you want to be known for? What is the thing you want to get really, really good at? And you have to practice it. You can't just do it by sitting through trainings all the time, reading all the things. Like that can get you really far and that can be a great reference for you. Absolutely. But there is nothing that is going to be better than experiencing it yourself and then to being able to turn around and share that experience with others. And when you are traveling, share it. It doesn't have to be in the moment. Absolutely. I don't want you to think that you have to be tied to your phone or social media or whatever all the time. But get the content and then use the content. Don't let it sit on your phone for years without you posting it. Like I'm still going back through, guilty as charged, but I do still talk about things. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I could share this fun fact. We have an abundance of content if you just know how to use it correctly. And on that note, if you're not yet in the social sales studio, what are you doing, friend? Because if you have all those pictures, you have all those B-roll, now all you need is the right captions and the right marketing strategy in order to do something with it. So I'll see you inside Social Sales Studio, lindsay.dollinger.com/membership. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, please send them this podcast. Please send them this video if you're listening over on YouTube. Give me a like, give me a comment, share it out because this is such an important reminder and this can be the missing piece for your business. And it's such an easy fix. And I think a really fun fix too. Because if this is something that we're doing in our business, or we should be doing in our business, if this is what our business is all about, I guarantee you enjoy it, right? So let's do it more. And then let's have massive success from it. So go out there, friend, create and own your magic. Talk soon.